Hi, my name is Mary Edwards. I'm passionate about helping business owners grow their businesses in double quick time by transforming their approach to the tender process and all that it entails. I just want to make sure that I'm talking to the right people today. Are you a business owner and have you been trading for more than 3 years? Well, that's fantastic, because sadly, it is a fact that 60% of new businesses fail in the first 3 years. So I want you to celebrate your success. Perhaps you have some ambitious plans and want to quickly increase your turnover to support business growth. Maybe you're tendering at the moment and would love to know how to make the process work successfully for your business. Is tendering a key process in your business, or is it at the bottom of the to-do list? Is it a process that needs to be given more priority in order to grow your business? Do you have a team focused on tender writing? Or is it just one person, or is it just you? Well, whoever's writing or managing the process, ask the question, is tendering working for us? If this is you, then that's great. And I'd like you to really to keep on watching, as I have some things to say later on that I know will really help you. As I said at the beginning, I'm Mary Edwards. My business is Mary Edwards Consulting. Some of you may remember me as the Blackbird Consultancy, or you might even remember me from my time at Supply London. I'm so happy that you are watching. I've got over 20 years of experience supporting business owners to grow their business through tendering for contracts. My clients have had huge success. One increased their turnover from 2.5 million to over 20 million in 3 years. Another won contracts with all the South London boroughs, simultaneously growing their business and reaching into the community. What did they all have in common? They all had the same desire, which is to have a business that is in a good place to grow quickly, that provides stability for the owner and the employees whilst having some fun. Even more important in the strange times that we have lived through and are still living through even now. Achieving success didn't happen overnight, but once my clients overcame their fears of tendering and made the process work for them, they definitely got there. Over the next few weeks, I will be giving a series of short videos that I call my 7M's for making tendering work for you. Aim to do just that for you and your business so that you can start the second half of the year really focused and motivated on growing your business through tendering. So the first M I want to talk about in this video is myths. Myths are other people's perceptions based on what they've heard, what they know, their own experiences, good or bad, which over time get embellished and retold so often that we believe them to be true. There's the one about eating the crusts on your sandwiches and it will make your hair curl. Well, it didn't work for me. Listening to what other business owners have to say about their experience of tendering is, of course, a really great way of getting a feel for a subject. But I want today to bust some of the myths that I know are commonly believed around tendering that you may have heard, because believing the myths will not help you or your business to grow. So let's look at 5 top myths that we have heard about tendering. The first one I want to talk about is the current incumbent will win it. This just isn't true. By incumbent, I mean the current provider, the current holder of the contract. I know this isn't true. Of course, the business that is currently delivering the contract will have an advantage. After all, they've had a close relationship with the client. The public sector tendering process is in place and governed by UK procurement regulations, which are in place to protect all bidders. Every tender submission is evaluated against the same selection criteria, providing a level playing field. The current incumbent, the current holder of the contract's tender, will be evaluated against the same selection criteria as all the other bidders, including yourself. Sadly, I have found, I don't want to make this a tendency, to be put people in their place, but sometimes, unfortunately, current providers can be lazy and they may not even bother to write a new bid and just submit the previous winning bid with maybe a few alterations, which I do not advise. It's so much better for you to turn this myth on its head and submit a bid that demonstrates value and offers a solution that you know 100% meets the client's requirements. The next myth that I want to bust and turn on its head, because I know that it isn't true, is it's a tick box exercise and takes too long. Buyers want submissions from potential suppliers who meet their procurement criteria. Of course they do. They receive dozens, hundreds of submissions for one tender. And that's why they ask for lots of information and ask questions, yes or no, so that they can filter out the possibles and the maybes and get down to a short list of definites that are going to be left to ask to tender. So turning this myth on its head and saying this exercise is easy because we're prepared and organised and meet their requirements and we've got enough resource for the deadline will turn your submission into a definite rather than a possible or a maybe. If this isn't the case, then we do need to talk. I will say more about how you can get in touch with me at the end of this video. Similar to the myth around the current supplier, the current incumbent, the next myth is it's all sewn up, they know the winner already. The narrative around the winner is known before the tender is published is just not true. Absolutely, potential suppliers can form relationships with buyers, but outside of the tendering process, and I'd absolutely suggest that you do that. You know, buyers are far more concerned about the quality of your submission, whether it offers value and meets their requirements than who it's from. The next myth is we've not won any tenders that we have submitted to this organisation, so why bother? Well, this myth is actually really saying that because you've not won anything with these people, you're never going to. You never will. Do you think that this is true? Of course it isn't. Buyers do not evaluate suppliers on previous submissions. They evaluate them on the current submission. The danger in believing this myth means your business could miss out on opportunities absolutely meant for you. So I would love you to turn this myth upside down and say, our past submissions are not a reflection of our business. This is a great opportunity to improve our tendering skills and prove that we are a winner. Let's go for it. The last myth that I want to talk about today is the one that says they will only award it to the cheapest. The reality is that buyers will, of course, they will take price into account. That is always the way. And it could be 20%, 30%, 40% of the total, out of the total score. The public sector, and particularly the government, of course, is more price sensitive. And that's something that you will have to take into account when you're costing up your tender. But the good news is that legally they are obliged and must pay invoices on time. And in these inflationary times, that has to be good news for your cash flow. I want you to believe instead, and absolutely believe this, that the cheapest is not necessarily going to be the winner. It's a submission that reassures the potential client that the supplier has got their back and that you care about the outcome. So guys, have you heard any of these myths? Did you believe them? Do you still believe them? Can you see that by turning these myths on their head and viewing the tendering process in a different way, we'll start to transform the way you feel about tendering? I help my clients see the difference and make the process work for them. Just want to tell you a little story about a lovely taxi company that I had as a client. They're just a normal taxi company running trips from home to airport and, you know, to lots of different courier services and so on. But on the side, they also had a small special needs transport, and they wanted to grow that business. So they've been spending a lot of time submitting tenders, putting a lot of work together and getting absolutely nowhere. And they and their boss, it was everybody from the boss down, believed in these myths, that it was the cheapest, that because they'd not won something with that organization before, they were never going to win it. So I help them see these myths for what they are, just that myths, just what they are, they're just myths. During my time working with them, their approach to tendering altered so much that they went on to win additional contracts with 7 London boroughs, which completely altered their business from being an ordinary taxi service to a taxi service with a purpose, serving the community that they are based in. Wow, I hope you'll agree, what a difference. So, does what I have been talking about resonate with you? Are you submitting tenders and know that something needs to change and quickly? If so, here's my suggestion. I've freed up some time in my diary to offer free 30-minute consultations. All you need to do is click on the link below and book a time with me. You'll be asked a few questions so that our time together can be used more effectively. I'm so looking forward to talking to you and finding out where you're at and how I can help you. Thank you so much for watching, and see you at the next M.